Hello, I'm your host, Anthony Simon, and welcome to another segment of AATD. Today we will be covering the world events, current technology, natural disasters, and the what, whys, and hows of our everyday lives. Now Tara with why we have daylight saving time.
Thank you, Tony. Why do we have daylight saving time? Is there a reason to it? Is it useful? We recently just had standard time return, so why don't we just leave time the way it is? We have daylight saving time to make better use of daylight. The worst part about it is that we lose an hour of sleep. And if you're like me, you like your sleep. There also could be more heart attacks. This could happen during the first 3 weekdays following spring daylight savings. This happens because of the lack of sleep, so be careful about this. Now the weird one is that there is a greater risk of getting in car accidents. This might happen because, again, of the lack of the sleep. So why shouldn't we just leave it alone? Now the person who created this nightmare, Benjamin Franklin. He first thought of daylight saving times. He did this jokingly, but it caught on, so now we use daylight saving times. So just a reminder, make sure when daylight saving comes back in the spring that you make sure you don't have a heart attack and that you watch the road. But most of all, get sleep. Well, that's it for me. Back to you, Tony.
That was very interesting, Tara. Next we have Dylan with technology.
Thanks, Tony. Today I'll be talking about technology. In recent news, the truck driving company Otto put a new self-driving car out on the road. The truck delivered nearly 50,000 bottles of Budweiser beer. The truck drove itself 120 miles across Interstate 25 alongside normal traffic. According to Otto, a trained driver was in the truck at all times, but he never even had to touch the steering wheel for the entire 120-mile trip. The truck was outfitted with more than $30,000 worth of hardware. Since then, Uber has bought out Otto for $680 million. Travis Kalanick, Uber's chief executive, said he envisions a future in which transportation will involve both driver-controlled and driverless vehicles. Otto's co-founder, Lauren Rahn, says, "The technology is ready to start doing these commercial pilots. Over the next couple of years, we'll continue to develop the tech so it's actually ready to encounter every condition on the road." Many are worried that this could put many truck drivers out of the job, but only time will tell. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Dylan. Now we have Ashley with natural disasters.
Thanks, Doug. Natural disasters are all very dangerous, with earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes, and earthquakes are a series of vibrations that cause great destructions in the Earth's crust. The world's largest earthquake was in May 22nd, 1960. It was near Valdivia in southern Chile. It was assigned a magnitude of 9.5 by the United States by Geological Survey. It is referred to as the Great Chilean Earthquake and the 1960 Valdivia Earthquake. Tornadoes, which are dark funnel-shaped cloud made up of violent rotating winds, can reach speeds up to 300 miles per hour. The tri-state tornado killed 695 people and injured 2,027, traveling more than 300 miles through Missouri, Illinois, on March 18, 1925. It was rated an F5 at the top of old scale, with the winds of 260 plus miles per hour. Volcanoes are a volcanic eruption is when something occurs when molten rock, ash, and steam pour through a vent in the Earth's crust. In April 10, 1815, Tambora produced the largest eruption known on the planet during the past 10,000 years. The volcano erupted more than 50 cubic kilometers of magma and collapsed afterwards to form a 6-kilometer wide and 1,250 mile deep caldera. Last but not least, hurricanes. On 1990, on September 8th, was the deadliest hurricane called Great Galveston Hurricane. It was the most deadliest hurricane to ever hit the United States and caused between 8,000 and 12,000 deaths. The storm reached the Texas coast south of Galveston on September 8th as a Category 4 hurricane with a storm surge of 8 to 15 feet. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks a whole bunch, Ashley. Now current events with me. Hello again. Today let's talk about our world's events. For the main topic today, we will be discussing a CNN reporter being trapped in the middle of a deadly ISIS attack. For more than 28 hours, CNN senior international correspondent Arwa Damon and photojournalist Bryce Lane were with Iraqi special forces during their push into the ISIS-held city of Mosul. It was a new phase of the liberation operation, which includes switching from villages and open terrain to a dense city that a well-equipped ISIS is determined to defend. Their convoy was leading the operation on Friday, when it came under attack multiple times. Vehicles were destroyed, soldiers were hurt, troops and journalists sought shelter in a succession of houses, calling for backup again and again. Inside of the armored vehicles, hiding with families and houses, Arwa Damon kept notes amid the heat of the battle. Here is her account with occasional strong language. It has been lightly edited for clarity.
I'm back again talking about the presidential race. When Hillary Clinton was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2001, she became the first American First Lady to ever win public office seat. Also, Trump's press aside released on a page one summary of his assets and liabilities on Tuesday, and Trump pledged to release the full financial disclosure. On Monday, November 7th, Hillary Clinton was ahead of Donald Trump. Hillary had 45% on Tuesday, November 8th. The election ended around 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Trump ended up being elected through a long day of voting. And that concludes our broadcast for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we have a nice day. Hope to see you tomorrow on AATV.
Dun, dun, dun.